This is Mac OS Ken.
Hopping on the iPhone supercycle, South Korea has an idea for Google, and get ready for the virtual turkey trot. It's Monday, the 23rd of November, 2020. I'm Ken Ray, and this is news from Mac OS Ken, brought to you by yours truly and sponsored by SimpliSafe. Get 40% off any SimpliSafe system and a free security camera at simplysafe.com/macosken. This show is also sponsored by BetterHelp, online counseling that's there for you. The holidays can be tough, maybe more so this year. If any of it is getting you down, BetterHelp is available. You've heard me talk about them before, but let me remind you. You just answer a few questions about what you want to work on and who you want to work with, all in the safety and security of their app. Then they sift through the thousands of counselors available to match you with the right one. And if they miss on that one, changing is easy and free. That happened to me. They paired me with a counselor who, it wasn't a fit. No hassle, no questions asked. I said I want to switch and had somebody new with whom to work within a day. Maybe you've hit a rough patch and you need help for a little while. Or maybe you have a lot of work ahead that you're finally ready to start. Whatever the case, BetterHelp is there. As a listener, you'll get 10% off your first month by visiting betterhelp.com/macosken. Join over 1 million people taking charge of their mental health. Again, that is BetterHelp, H-E-L-P, betterhelp.com/macosken. One more time, it's betterhelp.com/macosken. And a big thanks to BetterHelp for sponsoring today's show. With so much talk of the Mac last week, we have totally neglected iPhone sales for the first week in probably a decade. Wedbush analyst Daniel Ives to the rescue. Apple Insider had the head of Apple's Pep Squad, financial division, suggesting that the iPhone 12 supercycle is underway. Ives says he and his have not seen a launch uptrend such as this in a number of years for Apple, and the only iPhone trajectory similar would be the iPhone 6 in 2014, based on their analysis. The analyst is currently calling for as many as 80 million iPhone 12 units from the supply chain for this quarter, and it's worth noting this quarter is literally just the beginning. Quoting his note again, with our estimation that 350 million of 950 million iPhones worldwide are currently in the window of an upgrade opportunity, we believe this will translate into an unprecedented upgrade cycle for Apple, with a major holiday season on the horizon, despite the softer consumer backdrop. Hey, who you calling soft? The pros appear to be the big winners in his estimation. While iPhone 12 is the star of the show, there's also strength in demand for iPhone 12 Pro Max. Apple Insider says all that bodes well for Apple's average selling price heading into 2021, which is the kind of thing that pleases people like Ives. He's got a positive rating on Apple shares. His price target on the shares is $150. South Korea has a question for Google. Why can't you be more like Apple? Apple Insider says the country is asking the search giant and proprietor of the world's other app store to do what Apple says it's going to do: lower commissions exacted from small developers. Hard to imagine you've forgotten, but just in case the piece reminds people, Apple on Wednesday announced a new program set to go into effect on the 1st of January that would cut App Store commissions to 15% for developers and businesses paid less than $1 million per year. Currently, Apple and Google charge a standard rate of 30% on in-app purchases. Now, lawmakers in South Korea would like to see more of the same in the form of Google taking less. In a statement to the Mountain View crew, members of the country's People Power Party said, Apple's policy to halve its commission is well-timed. We urge Google to reduce its commission for small app developers to below 15% to boost South Korea's app ecosystem. Or, Put more succinctly, why can't you be more like Apple? Apple may have finally put Batterygate behind it. iDownload blog ran a piece last week saying that Apple has agreed to pay somewhere in the neighborhood of $113 million to settle suits with 33 states and the District of Columbia over throttling the performance of iPhones with failing batteries. In addition to the monetary settlement, the piece says Apple has also agreed that it will be more transparent when it comes to future changes to its products, especially the iPhone in this regard. The company will also be providing more information for users regarding power management and battery health moving forward. Apple's putting some of its hardware to work for kids at risk. Mac Rumors ran a piece last week that had Apple announcing the donation of Macs and iPads, 2,500 devices in total, to Boys and Girls Clubs across the U.S. Citing a press release from the Cupertino company, Mac Rumors said Apple is aiding a new set of technology labs created by the Boys and Girls Club as part of its 21st Century Academic Enrichment Program by providing a large number of iPad and Mac devices. The labs, which focus on science, technology, engineering, art, and math, as well as design and career training, also include Apple's Everyone Can Code, Everyone Can Create, and Develop in Swift programs. Those thousands of devices will support a brighter future for boys and girls across the country, and one day Apple says they'll also support the latest Xbox controllers. 9to5 Mac says controllers compatible with the new Xbox Series X and Xbox Series S consoles aren't doing it for Apple devices right now, where it equals anything. Apple's hoping to get that ironed out, though. On a support site, Apple says Microsoft and Apple are working together to bring compatibility for the Xbox Series X controllers to consumers in a future update. Palsy as the people from Redmond and Cupertino sound, one might have passively thrown another under the bus last week. Mac Rumors highlights an interview between a few Apple execs and Ars Technica. If you're wondering why Windows doesn't run natively on the M1 Macs, Apple's head of software engineering, Craig Federighi, is happy to point up the coast. Quoting Ars Technica, "As for Windows running natively on the machine, that's really up to Microsoft," Federighi said. "We have the core technologies for them to do that, to run their ARM version of Windows, which in turn, of course, supports x86 user mode applications. But that's a decision Microsoft has to make, to bring to license that technology for users to run on these Macs, but the Macs are certainly very capable of it." More news in a moment, but first a word from Simply Safe, the right way to protect your home, especially right now. Simply Safe Home Security is having a huge holiday sale, 40% off any Simply Safe system, and a free security camera. Simply Safe is simple to install. You can set it up yourself in about 30 minutes. I think that's about how long it took me. No strangers coming to install stuff, and no pushy salespeople trying to load you up with stuff you don't need. Choose from their ready-made packages or piece together the Simply Safe system that's right for you. After that, their security specialists take over, monitoring your home around the clock, ready to send emergency help the moment it's needed. U.S. News & World Report called it the best home security of 2020. It won CNET Editor's Choice for Home Security and was named Best of 2020 by Forbes and Popular Mechanics. And you can have this award-winning security for less. Get 40% off Simply Safe plus a free security camera today by visiting simplysafe.com/macOSKen. You will want to decide soon. This deal expires on Friday. That's SIMPLI, simplysafe.com/macOSKen. Give yourself the gift of security at simplysafe.com/macOSKen. And a big thanks to Simply Safe for sponsoring today's show. Intel's chief diversity officer is now Apple's chief diversity officer. CNET says Barbara Y., Intel's chief diversity and inclusion officer and corporate VP of social impact, has turned in her lanyard at the chip maker. Talking of Y., Apple said in a statement, an engineer by training and a globally recognized leader on issues of representation in the technology industry, Barbara has spent 25 years at Intel, helping the company make meaningful and durable positive change. Now she will bring her immense talents and deep experience to Apple, expanding our company-wide effort to hire, develop, and retain the world-class talent at all levels that reflects the communities we serve. She's set to join Apple as VP of Inclusion and Diversity, starting sometime next year. A much-anticipated Apple TV Plus series is headed back into production. Well, that's the plan anyway, but with this series, Apple Insider says Shantaram has picked up a new showrunner with hopes that that'll get things back on track, or more accurately, on track. According to the piece, the series halted production in February when the former showrunner, Eric Warren Singer, departed the project. The series then saw multiple delays due to both the ongoing coronavirus pandemic and the typhoon season. Then the rumor has it a lead actor said Candyman's name in the mirror 3 times, and a PA picked up a bad luck idol she found in a cave, and one dude spilled salt without throwing any over his shoulder. I don't want to say this show is cursed, so I'll let the computer do it for me.
Cursed.
According to the report, Stephen Lightfoot will take over as showrunner, best known for his work on the Netflix series The Punisher and the NBC series Hannibal. If the problems for Shantaram don't stop, he can probably come up with some pretty sick ways to deal with them. A film picked up by Apple right before the lockdown is popping up in the news again. According to a piece from Variety, Apple announced in February that it had picked up the film Swan Song, produced by and starring Academy Award winner Mahershala Ali. Then, COVID. You'd be forgiven for forgetting. It's roaring back into the consciousness now, though, as the movie picks up another couple of big names. According to Variety, Awkwafina has joined the cast. According to the piece, Swan Song is described as a genre-bending drama set in the near future that explores how far someone will go and how much they'll sacrifice to make a happier life for the people they love. Awkwafina will play Kate, the close friend and confidant of Ali's Cameron character. Also in the film is Naomi Harris. She plays Cameron's wife. And another new addition, Glenn Close. A piece from Deadline brings that news, saying simply that Close will play a head scientist at a facility. Not a lot to go on, but I'm guessing that the facility has something to do with science. No word on when the film will land in Apple's stream. And finally today, while Thanksgiving this year will be different in a lot of ways for a lot of people, Apple Watch is keeping things a tiny bit normal. Though it's not popped on my watch yet, 9to5Mac ran a piece last week saying that the Cupertino company is back with the roughly annual Tryptophan 5K. They don't actually call it that, but they should. 9to5Mac says Apple has scheduled its next Apple Watch Activity Challenge, this time for Thanksgiving. The challenge encourages Apple Watch users to complete a workout of at least 5 kilometers or 3.1 miles in length on the 26th of November. I called the challenge roughly annual because of the year they skipped. First launched in 2016, the company ran the same challenge in 2017, skipped it in 2018, then, like sexy, they brought it back in 2019. Walking, running, or wheelchair workouts of 5K will get participants a virtual doodad for the Apple Watch, as well as virtual stickers for messages. The workout can be completed using the Workouts app on Apple Watch, according to the piece, or any other app that records workouts to the Health app. Coming up in a few minutes, lone techspert of the wasteland Jeff Gamet joins us this week. Last week, Apple made a significant move for small developers, dropping the commission it exacts from 30% to 15%. Find out why. That is news to Jeff in a few minutes. Look for that show and subscribe wherever you get podcasts. Hey, don't forget I'm going live today on YouTube, Monday through Wednesday this week at 6:30 Eastern, 3:30 Pacific. Stop by and say hey. YouTube.com/KenRay. You can also watch the replay there later, or you can grab the audio podcast, macOS Ken Live, wherever you get podcasts. macOS Ken, brought to you by me and sponsored by BetterHelp. Get 10% off your first month at betterhelp.com/macOSKen. This show is also sponsored by SimpliSafe. Get 40% off any SimpliSafe system and a free security camera at simplisafe.com/macOSKen. Advertising handled by Backbeat Media, online at backbeatmedia.com. You can reach me a couple of ways. Info at macosken.com or call 716-780-4080. Until next time, that is news from macOS Ken. I'm Ken Ray.
Ciao.